Hi, I'm Flat Hat Managing Editor Vanessa Remmers, and I'm here with Senior Grace Mendenhall. Hi, Grace. Thanks for being with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So you are a philosophy major, and your minor is teaching English as a second language.
Yes.
So tell us about that, since there's not many philosophy majors at the school.
I really enjoy it. There's definitely a small community of students that I have all of my classes with, which is kind of cool. You get to know each other, and everyone's, different opinions on things. But I really love the major. I think it's a great underrated one here at the college.
Was there a favorite professor or class that's going to stick out in your memory before you graduate?
I really like the seminars I'm taking now, actually. I'm taking one in imagination and another one in bad faith and false consciousness. And it's kind of like a cool culmination of everything I've learned into these really interesting, more obscure ways of looking at it. It's just been a neat perspective. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Was there ever a time you walked out of class and your perspective was completely changed on things?
Always.
Always.
That's
okay.
the goal, right?
That's true. So you're also doing an honors thesis.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Well, I'm doing an honors thesis in the Department of Philosophy, obviously, and it's about, there's this ancient Chinese philosopher named Mo Tzu, and he wrote, he came before Confucius, and he wrote a lot at that time, and so a lot of people consider him to be a consequentialist, but I'm going back and looking at his some of his original works, and I actually think he qualifies as a classical utilitarian, which is a step beyond being a consequentialist, I guess. So I'm talking about that and making that sort of a jump and talking about why that's relevant and more in an overarching sense what Western philosophy can serve to gain from looking at these, ancient Eastern philosophical texts.
So
basically.
Explain to me, since I am a novice in philosophy,
Okay.
what would a consequentialist mean in layman's terms?
So consequentialist is just this very general, the morality of an act depends upon its consequences, and classical utilitarianism has a couple of qualifications that make it more specific and take it a step forward. So, something that makes a classical utilitarian that and not a consequentialist is how they conceive of, what is the good act, for example, what good means in that sense. And so it's just a more specified form.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So why was it important for you to go outside the bounds and do an Eastern philosophy instead of picking a Western philosopher?
Well, I've studied Chinese at the college since I was a sophomore, and my stepmother is actually from Beijing, so that's always kind of been a part of my life, and I studied abroad there, and so it was really important for me to integrate my experiences and my love of China into my study in philosophy. And it's something that's, they're not Eastern philosophy courses at William and Mary, and so it's definitely out of the box, and it's kind of been hard to find my way in that sense, but it was very important to me to combine the two.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you also teach Chinese to elementary school students as a part-time job. So tell us about that. Is it easier to teach smaller kids languages? Do they soak it up really well?
Yeah, well, they're just more fun to teach. It's an immersion language program that I work with. So a lot of the times you're just playing games like red light, green light, but in Mandarin. So
wow.
Yeah, that's
it's one of the
fun.
hardest languages to learn.
I mean,
Chinese.
Yeah, I think the writing is really, really difficult to learn, but we don't focus on that as much. So you kind of just get to hang out with kids and talk about stuff.
So the language is a little easier to pick up.
I think so, especially for kids. It's always easier to pick things up.
Great.
Yeah.
Do you have any other extracurricular activities?
Yeah, I'm also the president of Hillel, which is the Jewish student organization on campus, and I do some stuff with theater besides that.
So what plays have you been in?
I did a lot of Shakespeare in the Dark. I really enjoyed being in Julius Caesar, which was a wonderful Shakespeare in the Dark play. I've also done a couple of main stage shows, The Rover and Travesties, and those were both a lot of fun. And also I do some stuff with costuming, and I've played in the pit for cabaret, so kind of seen a lot of different sides of it. Yeah.
What would you say was your most challenging character?
Challenging character, probably. I played Cassius and Julius Caesar, and it's a traditionally male role, and we looked at it from a completely different perspective, and so that was definitely a very challenging role to have to do that. My role in Travesties was also a challenging one, because it was very sort of abstract, and having to act that was an interesting process.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Well, as you're about to graduate, was there any advice that you would give to freshmen?
Freshmen, it's a great time. It's a wonderful, wonderful era. I guess my main advice would be everything in moderation, even moderation. So definitely give everything a try. Don't go too crazy unless you feel like it. I
really
guess.
feel like it.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.